Is Google a sleeper AI company?
Uh, if I wanted to wait till December, one of my favorite comeback stories of just flawless execution is Google. Google has done everything I wish Apple would have done. I can't wait for this update to come out. But just at the highest level, when people were even starting to say, well, AI erode their search business completely, they found a way to invest and create AI at a faster scale. And it's a great thing of being focused, because as Apple lost their focus, they were able to come in and be a partner. So it is a sleeper AI company. We've been talking about it all year. And I've clearly said, like, once they made the switch in focus, I was the first one to say, hey, they've righted the ship. So I don't think they're a sleeper company, but I do think they are the quietest of the big tech companies in AI. But that's because they're actually executing at a high level.
I think, I don't even know if I want to use the term sleeper. I remember about a year ago we were talking about this topic, and I think the one knock I had against them was that they didn't have the product. They didn't have the thing, right? There wasn't a thing. And then I spoke to some people in the tech world, and they were like, "Nah, Troy, trust me, the thing is on the way." And so obviously using that information, doing the research, started to get some calls on them, and did pretty well on those calls. And then at the All-Star game this year in San Francisco, we were enlightened by some of the folks at Google. They had been watching the show and talking to us about some of the product things that were coming, and we should just give it some time, and then send some products over to us. And what we've seen is when we talked about the clips earlier, this is the technology version.
Just executing quietly.
They're executing at the highest level. The product is phenomenal. When we're talking about AI, Gemini is still one of the top 3, right?
For sure. And still improving.
VO3 is incredible. Last week, they talked about their potential new deal with Apple to be the search engine. Google has had a phenomenal year. They reported earnings 2 weeks ago. Had an amazing quarter. Innovation looks incredible for the future. They're there, man. They're there. And in fact, I was reading an interesting piece about how they're looking at search going forward, right? When we had to scour the internet, when AI like ChatGPT and Claude had to scour the internet, the data source was Google, because that's the place you go. And now they're saying, like, in the future, they're going to shorten that search so that other models can't take it as much, which was what we'll see, right?
Which is brilliant.
Yeah, I feel like they were a little late to that, though. Right? Had they saw that train coming, they would have stopped it early.
It reminded me of Netflix stopping the password share. Like, if data's the new oil, they have all the oil and the refineries. Sam, while you're being arrogant, which you can talk about in a little bit, okay, well, let's cut the pipeline off. And VO and Nano Banana, and every update that Google does, it felt like at one time every week they were launching a new improvement. Just a fantastic. And once again, everything they're doing, I wish Apple would have did.
It's interesting, right? Because now that you said, I didn't even think about that. Like, you cut that pipeline off, and for those, that was what I'm trying to explain here, is that when you search, right, like when Google has like 30 O's inside the word, that's how many search engines that they've done to come up with results. In the future, they're saying that they'll cut that down to maybe 2 pages, right? So remember when people used to go SEOs and they're like, oh wait, we're trying to land on the first 10 searches. Now that'll be confined so that the other companies won't be able to use that database to use inside their platforms, which is interesting. Could Apple have done this? I think Apple could have done something in artificial intelligence. I think the role is defined now. They're going to sit back and watch and say, how do we improve? How do we innovate inside of what's already happening? Google is just innovating. They're just innovating at a very high level. And every time they innovate, there's a response. And so when VO3 came out, we saw Sora. They updated it. Here comes Sora 2. They're leading the way now, right? Like they're leading the way. Search engine is there. We know that is a huge business, and obviously they still have that Goliath called YouTube, which.
And now I was going to say, and once they figure out how to integrate Veil into YouTube for creators, If you own a cable company, sell.
What would be like? What's reality at that point?
It's tough. Job well done to everybody at Google. Once again, I wish Apple would have done the same.